All right, with that, I'll introduce Adam Johnson from Splunk. Adam?
Thank you very much, Neil. Appreciate that warm intro. Good day, everyone. Adam Johnson with Splunk. I'm account manager here in Arizona and Splunk SME. I'm going to dive right in here and give you guys a little agenda of what we're going to go through today. We'll start with who is Splunk. We'll talk about machine data, why Splunk, or in today's case, what the Splunk. Who's Splunking now and how? I'll go through a brief description of our portfolio and a summary at the end. So diving right in, Splunk's been around since 2004, and our first software release in 2006. We're headquartered in San Francisco, and then we have regional headquarters in London and Hong Kong. We have over 2,400 employees and growing rapidly, and we're based in 12 countries. When you think of Splunk's business model, we go from free download of our software to massive scale. And our products include Splunk Enterprise, which we call Core, and Splunk Cloud, Splunk Mint, which is a mobility solution, and then we have Hunk, which is Splunk Analytics for Hadoop. We have over 11,000 customers in 100 countries and over 80 of the Fortune 100. And our largest license out there, and this is growing since this slide actually, is over 400 terabytes per day. So this is our mission statement. Splunk makes machine data accessible, usable, and valuable to everyone. It's only 10 words, but it's our reason for being. It drives everything we do, and everything you hear from me today will follow this mission. What is machine data, and why is it a big deal? Well, it's one of the fastest growing, most complex, and most valuable segments of data. All the web servers, applications, network devices, mobile devices, sensors, all of the technology infrastructure running your enterprise generates massive streams of data in an array of unpredictable formats that are difficult to process and analyze by traditional methods or in a timely manner. Why is this machine data valuable? Because it contains a trace. It has a definitive record of user behavior, cybersecurity risks, application behavior, service levels, fraudulent activity, and customer experiences. And when you look at the top there, we call it the 4 V's of the characteristics of machine data: volume, velocity, variety, and variability. Those last two can prove to be the most interesting and most challenging. What does machine data look like? Well, here it is. It's not that pretty. It can be a mess sometimes, but this is what it looks like in black and white here for you, and the way most people view it. Unlike traditional structured data or multi-dimensional data, for example, data stored in traditional relational database for batch reporting, machine data is non-standard, highly diverse, dynamic, and high volume. You'll notice that machine data events are also typically time-stamped. It is time series data. As you look through this, you'll see the timestamps. Take this example. This is an example of purchasing a product on your tablet or smartphone. The purchase transaction failed. You called into the call center. You sat on hold. You hung up. You got on Twitter, and you tweeted about your experience. All these events are captured as they occur in the machine data generated by different systems supporting these different interactions. Each of the underlying systems can generate millions of machine data events daily. Here we see small excerpts from just some of them. Now, when you look at this a little bit closer, we see it contains valuable information. This is where Splunk comes in. You will now pull out customer IDs and order IDs, time waiting on hold, Twitter ID, what was tweeted. What is important is, first of all, the ability to actually see across these disparate data sources, but then to correlate related events across disparate sources to deliver meaningful insight. If you can correlate and visualize related events across these disparate resources, you can build a picture of activity, behavior, and experience. And what if you can do all this in real time? You can respond more quickly to the events that matter. For example, if an organization captured the customer's Twitter ID in their customer profile, this correlation would be profitable. If it didn't exist, they could at least group by demographic with the tweets. You can extrapolate this example to a wide range of use cases like security and fraud, transaction monitoring and analysis, web analytics, IT operations, and so on. So here's how using Splunk and your machine data can drive significant benefits for your organization. Search and investigate. This is where most of our customers start using Splunk organizations. They can always identify and resolve issues up to 70% faster and reduce costly escalations by up to 90%. Splunk is one place to find and fix problems and investigate incidents across all your IT systems and infrastructure. If you move along to proactive monitoring and alerting, you can monitor IT systems in real time and identify issues, problems, and attacks before they impact your customers, services, and revenue. Splunk keeps watch of specific patterns, trends, and thresholds in your machine data so you don't have to. Trigger notifications in real time via email or RSS. Execute a script to take remedial actions. Send an SNMP trap to your system management console or generate a service desk ticket. If you look at operational visibility, this is where you see the whole picture. Track performance and make better decisions. Visualize usage trends to better plan for capacity. Spot SLA infractions. Track how you're being measured by the business. You can do all this using your existing machine data without spending millions of dollars instrumenting your IT infrastructure today. And then finally, real-time business insights. Make better informed decisions for understanding trends, patterns, and gaining operational intelligence from your machine data. See the success of new online services or channel or demographics. Reconcile third-party service provider fees against actual use. Find your heaviest users and abusers. And because machine data captures every behavior, the possibilities are game-changing. You'll find the lead times to get to this intelligence dramatically less than other solutions, measured in minutes and hours instead of months. So here's a better visual of pulling in all those disparate data sources into one location, one platform, Splunk, and then asking questions of it. So our customers typically start with the Splunk to solve a specific problem, and then expand from there to address a broad range of use cases across application troubleshooting, IT infrastructure monitoring, security, business analytics, Internet of Things, and many others that are extremely innovated by our customers. So thinking back to our mission statement, here's how it works. Splunk software and cloud services collect and index machine data from a single source to tens of thousands of sources, all in real time. This is the accessible part. Once the data is in Splunk, you can search, analyze, report on, and derive insights from all of your data across real-time or historical data that can be stored in Hadoop or other NoSQL data sources. This is the usable part. Then you can create alerts and dashboards to proactively manage your environment. This is the valuable part. Furthermore, you can create dashboards that are very detailed to use for forensics or high-level dashboards for business insights to meet the needs of all different personnel in your organization. This is the everyone part. Pretty cool, huh? So why Splunk, or what the Splunk in today's case? What would you do if you could install software, point it at your data, then ask any question you have? That's the power of Splunk software and cloud services. Our software was designed to be downloaded and installed in minutes. The same software that the free download scales to hundreds of terabytes of data per day and enables you to ask questions across your entire infrastructure, even across data silos. As you add more data, you receive more insights. All data is relevant to how you run your business and to support strategic priorities. Splunk Enterprise can be deployed on-premise or in the cloud and can be deployed as either software or software as a service. And you can even run a hybrid solution on-prem and cloud seamlessly through a single pane of glass. So if you're thinking Splunk's pretty cool, so is Gartner. Take a look at this. If you look at our rapid ascent, reflects the customer traction we have and value we deliver to customers. With thousands of security customers and 40% year-over-year growth, we are the fastest growing SIEM vendor in the market. 2011 was our first time in the Magic Quadrant, and in just 2 short years, we raced up to the top quadrant. Just like NASCAR, check out these logos. More than 11,000 customers in 100 countries have purchased the enterprise license of Splunk. This includes the majority of the Fortune 100. Enterprises, service providers, and government agencies in these 100 countries use Splunk to improve service levels, reduce IT operation costs, mitigate security risks, and drive new levels of operational visibility. Oops, I think I went the wrong way on my slide back there. There we go. As they gain new visibility into their real-time and historical machine data, Splunk's customers are finding answers and solving the most challenging issues facing IT in the business. So I know what everybody loves is how is everybody doing it. So who's Splunking now and how? If you ask Domino's, FINRA, and local Chandler Police Department what the Splunk, this is what they'd say. Domino's Pizza is the world's largest pizza delivery chain, serving over 1 million customers per day. That's a lot of pizza. Domino's is consistently in the top 5 for online transactions behind Amazon and Apple. As a result, web and app sales are a huge component of their business. 40% of U.S. sales come through digital channels and need to be routed to the nearest Domino's. Splunk software is being used, in this case, by the Domino's site reliability team, which is responsible for ensuring online customers have the best experience possible. Before Splunk, addressing downtime was often reactive. They would see a dip in sales and then manually search the logs to determine what happened. It would take 2 to 3 hours to search and tie the logs back to the customers impacted. And when the executive team requested reports on promotion performance, it would involve someone late at night pulling the data and crunching the numbers daily. After Splunk, Domino's created proactive alerts to proactively notify the team before a dip in sales occurred and enabled them to easily search and resolve issues within 5 to 15 minutes. For business analytics, Domino's uses Splunk to track sales, orders per minute, and coupons down to the county level. They now have real-time promotion tracking and executive reports. They created dashboards to track promotions in real time for the marketing department. For instance, during the last 2 Super Bowls, they monitored which online coupons were developing the most revenue and were able to adjust in real time to increase revenues rather than wait till after it was all over to figure out what didn't work well. Splunk software is also being used to generate automated reports that are emailed to the executive team. Let's talk about FINRA, the largest independent regulator of security firms in the United States, uses Splunk to ensure security and compliance. FINRA monitors over 6 million stock transactions per day, so it's truly in the business of big data. A core aspect of what FINRA does is capture information from third-party threat intelligence sources and then transform that information into scheduled searches and security alerts in Splunk Cloud. With these alerts, FINRA is able to create immediate and actionable insights from third-party data. In addition, FINRA leverages the Splunk app for AWS to ensure the highest level of security and compliance within their growing AWS environment. And finally, locally, Chandler Police Department created audit trails for their servers to determine who accesses sensitive files or materials, or if an unauthorized user tries to enter their network. Splunk gives them visibility into how their systems are used, enabling them to verify that employees retrieve only the data for which they have approval. They even use Splunk software to monitor the video surveillance system in their 3 facilities to ensure that cameras are always functioning and there's adequate disk space for digital footage. They actually use it for storage planning. I can tell you, doing business with Chandler Police Department is so much better than seeing them in my rearview mirror. So here's our portfolio. Now that you've seen the value of Splunk and can't wait to get your hands on it, this is what it looks like. You start at the bottom. That's all the machine data that we've been discussing that you'll bring into one location. That leads to the Splunk platform, which is the same as Splunk Enterprise that you see in the 3rd level up. We call that Core Splunk. Continuing on that 3rd level, you're able to buy Splunk as a service with cloud and even run a hybrid environment if you choose. Then you have Splunk Lite, which is for basic applications, and finally Hunk, which is Splunk for analytics on data and Hadoop. Next is a rich ecosystem of apps and add-ons. We offer over 1,000 free apps created by users, Splunkers, and manufacturers to extend and simplify deployments by providing prepackaged content designed for specific use cases and data types. Finally, at the top, you have our premium solutions that are paid solutions, like IT Service Intelligence to manage to your business SLAs, Enterprise Security, our pre-built SIEM solution, and User Behavior Analytics is a machine learning solution for anomaly detection. In addition, we offer pre-built solutions for Exchange, VMware, PCI, and mobility. Just remember, you have the flexibility to start small, or if time and resources are short and budget allows, you can buy complete pre-built premium solutions and start Splunking like crazy. So in summary, we make machine data accessible, usable, and valuable to everyone through real-time architecture, schema on the fly, massive scalability, easy reporting and analytics via one platform. Splunk is a fantastic software to help you gain business intelligence from your machine data, just like NetApp is a great choice for proven, highly efficient and cost-effective storage solutions. But none of us can succeed without the expertise of partners like cStor to bring together the proper technologies and provide the best services to ensure your success. I hope you enjoyed my What the Splunk presentation. Thank you for your time today, and we look forward to helping you Splunk your environment soon. That's it for me.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Adam. Great presentation. Such an interesting and timely technology with how much data is just exploding from all places to make valuable use of it. At this time, we'll take Q&A, and just a reminder, if you have questions, please post them to the questions pane, and we'll field as many as time allows. We do have a few minutes, and we have a couple questions coming in. Okay, first question for Adam. I've already spent a lot of money on several tools for our infrastructure. Do I have to stop using them if I use Splunk? Obviously, I think that's going to be a very common issue. Adam, so much invested in infrastructure technologies. You know, throwing those out is, or not being able to integrate and use them with new technologies is always a challenge. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, Kim. That's a great question, and I get it all the time. And as a matter of fact, everyone has many tools they use today. Each of those tools was bought for a reason. Some of those tools, or some of the reasons that the tools are bought, hold true today and bring value, and others may not. You don't have to rip and replace what you have today to use Splunk. Splunk can complement any of the existing tools you have today that you still like. You can send data from those tools to Splunk to get deeper forensics and correlate with other data silos that you might not be able to today. And it's also bidirectional, where you can send data from Splunk into existing tools you have if you see value for that.
Fabulous. Next question. And this one may be difficult for you to answer, Adam, but are there any technologies that don't integrate with respect to the machine data or the types of data that Splunk can analyze?
That's when I usually defer to my engineer. However, I can tell you to date, I haven't run into a machine data that I haven't been able to Splunk.
Okay.
And if there's a data that this person is inquiring about, tell us what it is, and we'll answer your question real quick. We can get back to you on that. But I have not run into any machine data that we cannot Splunk today.
Awesome. Okay. Great. Thank you. We've got a couple more coming in. How is Splunk priced? Great question. Certainly with data volumes in certain models, that pricing could explode exponentially, I'm sure. So if you can talk through the pricing model, it sounds like that would be very helpful.
Absolutely. So Splunk is really flexible, and the way it's priced is designed so that any customer, small or large, can procure Splunk. So it's priced by the amount of gigabyte of data per day you ingest. You can choose to send all your data into Splunk, or you can pick and choose what you want to Splunk. You can start as small or as big as you want. For on-premise license, you can choose to buy a perpetual license or an annual term license that includes support at a lower cost. And we also have Splunk as a service, which is our Splunk in the Cloud subscription. And this allows you to use Splunk and removes the need for you to acquire and manage the hardware to run Splunk. And we provide a 100% SLA. If anybody's interested in pricing out their environment, I'd be happy to get on a discovery call with you to go further.
Excellent. Thank you for that offer. No takers just yet, but certainly maybe following this event. Looks like we do have another question. We've got a few more minutes. Does Splunk also monitor databases? That's a great question as well.
It is, and it sure does. It monitors databases. We do a lot of business with Oracle. And I realize where that question probably came from. I talked today a lot about unstructured data, but Splunk can monitor structured data like databases as well. And we can Splunk any machine data. Back to the question earlier, I have not found a machine data we cannot Splunk today.
Great. And one other question, what is the onboarding or ramp-up time if someone moves forward with a Splunk solution? Is that a day, a week, a month? What does that typically look like? Understanding environments are radically different and data sources are radically different. Do you have any sort of ballparks that would help people understand what that startup time looks like?
Yeah, that's a good question. And so in the beginning, we talked about how our model is start with a pre-download to massive scale. you could actually download Splunk for free, be up and running on one box in 15 minutes and seeing value, seeing your data right away all in one location, whatever data you chose to put in there. Now, obviously, somebody that's looking to analyze across their entire environment in different business segments, it's going to ramp up that implementation time greatly. But that's where we come into play, doing a discovery and a sizing and implementation strategy session with you. But really, it could be within 15 minutes. You can start Splunking some data and get value, and then we can take it as large a scale as you like. Great question.
Thank you. Another question. This is a great one too. Do you have any examples of Splunk healthcare use cases that are resulting in return on investment?
Now with healthcare, we have a lot of Splunk in health, and we can work with, I know Epic's really big in healthcare, and so a lot of times people will Splunk their Epic environments. I'm trying to think. I personally don't handle healthcare today, so I don't have an off-the-cuff example to throw out. But just as any other large state agency or university or large business, they're all solving the same problems, right? They're all either looking for improved security, and that's kind of the point here is every business or entity is really looking at the same data, and people are looking at the same data to solve their individual problems, whether it's security or IT operations. Splunk gets all that data into one location so that you can analyze it and correlate across different silos to get the answers you need for whatever you're looking for. And it's generally improved security and improved business operations, reduced revenue, reduced risk. So I know that was a big answer to healthcare, but healthcare is big and it deserves an answer like that.
It does. Excellent. Thank you. Just a quick follow-up on the healthcare. Not to, again, put you on the spot, Adam, but is there another contact, or are there use cases that we can share with this particular attendee with any more details on healthcare use cases following the event? Or is that something you could check into and let us know, and then we can get back to them directly via email?
Absolutely. Yep. I'll be happy to do that.
Awesome. Excellent. Let me just check and see. It looks like, yeah, and it looks like there are a couple of comments probably from internal folks that in healthcare, we can use Splunk for compliance of HIPAA data, which is key in healthcare as well. So that from Clint, which is excellent. And of course, cStor has expertise there and can work closely with clients. So on Splunk implementations too. So excellent. That actually wraps up the Q&A portion, leaves us a couple additional minutes for passing it back to Neil for a few closing thoughts.